तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः। दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व लाभमवाप्स्यसि। एषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये योगे त्विमां शृणु। युक्तो यया पार्थ प्रहास्यसि। अभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति वायो न विद्यते। स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य ते महतो भयात्। आयात्मिका बुद्धिः इह कुरु नन्दन। आकाह्यनन्ताश्च व्यवसायिनां पुष्पितां वाचं वदन्त्यविपश्चितः। वेदवादरताः पार्थ। Result itself should not be criterion in the duty. All want results, but result should not be the sole criteria result. You need two things in life. Okay, you have to follow the things in life. Can't make light of the need for the wealth is very important. Food is important. Material wealth. This body can't be sustained. Oh, and that wealth, we can't really get it. And Bhagavan says, hey, you need to survive, for which you need money, you need wealth, you need material wealth. You need bhiksha. Everybody needs bhiksha. And we don't have Kali Kambali Kshetra everywhere. Kambali Kshetra gives bhiksha only for sadhus. Yes, we all have to work for our food. For if survival is our need, is another thing. We are equally in need of growing, surviving. The other is growing. Human beings only register, they take cognizance of the need for only survive. Human beings always think we need to survive. Only this much they understand. They think we need to survive. Kaise bhi ho, survive. Survive for a long time, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. Need to live so that, need to live a long life so that you have a long time to keep growing. You need to grow, meaning you need to grow as an individual until you become qualified to understand that we don't have to grow to reach some place. We need to grow and grow to discover the law within us. Growth is necessary only for growth is not necessary for anything. Mental growth is required only as a mental. We want mental growth so that we can understand. Mental growth is a precondition for understanding. So now think of these two words and keep them in your mind. Here yatra. 20 years I am only introducing these two words. Until you register, I am only introducing. Don't say we are in need of only survival. No, survival is not the only need. We are in need of growing. In fact, survival gives us, happiness. Comfortable survival gives us happiness. But growth gives us much peace. Makes you security, makes us happy. Even mental peace is very valuable. For one is Sharira Yatra. The word for survival is Sharira Yatra. Growth is mentality. It's called Chitta Shuddhi. Karana mental purity. Purity is always in the form of overcoming our own impulses. It is not some spiritual action makes you pure. Oh, kuch nahi. Supposing Swamiji If I do every day go to the temple, does it automatically make my mind pure? The temple is good, but along with that, I should make an effort to overcome my others. So, mental purity makes you much more happy. If you have a clean mind, you are much more happy. And with $1 billion, and with $1 billion, be happy. Asset is our mind, understand? Our mind that can make us happy, our mind that can make us miserable. My happiness, my unhappiness is determined by my thinking. Think. Prospect into our thinking. Always really stand in front of the mirror and look at my body. Am I all right? Is my cap all right? Are my wrinkles filled, or do I have to do something? Okay, I am being so particular about my physical form. See, do how I think. We can only do that. Only we did that into our own thinking. Only we looked into wishing ill to anybody, being greedy. Even though I've got Bhagavan has given me enough. Unhappy because of watchful of my means is not just quietly watching. I must be proofs to find devils want. You are always looking for faults that are there, are not there. Finding faults that are not there, that is a different problem. Finding faults that are there, we read the proof to find the faults and correct. Reader of my work. For right mind makes you much more happy. Abundance of wealth. Yes, minds. Ancient times we had sages' minds. They were all much more happy. They never looked for abundance of material wealth. They always looked for right. Years of hard work has brought you. 50 years of hard work can bring you a lot of land that you never had, the house that you never had, the money that you never had. 50 years of hard work has helped you collect, has helped you achieve a lot of things. Really achieved something. Than that achievement, you had one impulse in 50 years. I can tackle even one impulse in my mind. That is our achievement. We need material things, but along with the material things, we have to the mind. Therefore, we need wealth, we need also the mind. That's why here Bhagavan is going to begin the next verse. He says, hey, do your duties, but results. Primarily for your inner growth, secondly for material process. Do your duties, primarily for your inner growth, relief for you. He is not a bhola. He is not, naive to think that we can live without meditation. It is a priority. Duty is primarily meant to help me grow within. Duty is primarily meant to help me grow within. And along with that, it is also meant to me something by this easy. One is mukhya. Means the primary result, the primary purpose, primary prayojana, the primary purpose of duty is purifying one's heart and giving somebody his purity. Let Bhagavan handle him. If he has done some crime to me, if he has done something wrong to me, go. Give things to Bhagavan, let Bhagavan handle. You can relax. Things from Bhagavan hand. That is also wisdom. Why? Because it is better that what is not in our hand. Why do what is not in our hand? Let us recognize it is in God's hand. Therefore, if somebody has hurt you, let us say, few years ago, somebody, when you were newly wedded, when you newly married, and you came to your in-law's place, then your sister-in-law, senior sister-in-law didn't behave well with you, and this and that, vagera. Something, and then you feel and you remember, hey, God, relax. For even to leave things to God is a part of mental purity, growth. Leaving things to God, certain things to God is a part of purity, mental maturity, mental growth. But it is beings. Leaving certain things to God doesn't make me naive. It mainly makes me wise. For Bhagavan says, if you want everything in your hands, then leave it to Bhagavan. Then alone Bhagavan will handle. As long as you don't leave it to him, as long as you think you will handle, then Bhagavan says, alright. To invoke God's grace is leave it to him. Bhagavan, I have no other sharanam, no other refuge than you. Even to think that thought, to say it is easy, to mean it is wisdom. It is easy, but to mean it, inner growth is the primary purpose of duties. For outer growth, material growth is the secondary objective. Primary objective is your growth. Growth of the verse. With this background, look at the verse. Dukhe. Material action. Nobody can guarantee you whether that action will bring you sukham or dukkha. Anything that can guarantee you? Hope. But human beings can only hope for the best. But we can't anybody be sure. Sometimes you get a couple of successes, then it goes into hand. Times handful of successes. Therefore, is it not evident, is it not absolutely evident in our life that we can only hope for the best? We can be sure. Marry a person, you can hope for the best, you can pray for the best, hope for the best, blessings for the interesting. You are an astrologer. You have to hear what he says carefully. If very matching, patrikas are matching. Well, they are matching well. Good. And or you can go ahead. You are not sure. Even astrologer can't be sure. You better pick up this reality in life sooner than later. Jaldi ye samajh mein aa jaye, utna अच्छा है. Relax. We can only hope for the best. We can't be sure. We can only be sure of one thing. Be sure. When I do a right action, it makes me happy. That is, I am sure of the right actions giving us happiness. You give some water to a thirsty man. Before you give that drinking water, suppose somebody comes to your door and says, I am feeling very thirsty, please give me some water. And you give him water, thanda pani lake, as a real return, you give him drinking water. Before you give it, you hope to become happy through that good deed, or are you sure? We can only be sure of one thing, that is right actions do make us, how that person will behave, whether he will be grateful or not, I don't know. We can only hope for the best. You serve children, you hope to become happy, or it is making you happy, or it makes you happy. Children will behave towards you later on. What will be the result? You can only hope for the best, but you can't. Take these two phenomena, what we can be sure of and what we can only hope for. Prosperity we can hope for, mental purity we can be sure of. Spiritual progress we can be sure of. Prosperity we can't be sure of. Say, yes Swamiji, we can be sure of. What's happening in the world today, you know. Overnight everything. Wealth is a very mercurial. It is very mercurial. Never by time making rounds. Lakshmi sometimes she's all the time making rounds in the world, and suddenly there is a call from Vishnu, and then there is a collapse of the shares in America and everywhere. Why? Lakshmi has just gone. There is a call from Vishnu for some time. However, Lakshmi, yes, no. Even before, even as she is booking her air ticket, shares are collapsing. You don't bank on your material prosperity. Enjoy it, but don't build your happiness on that. Anything, you can play with money, but not bank on it. Play with your material prosperity. It's a plaything. Ultimately, what matters is you, how you feel. Thus, do your duties for your inner growth primarily. Yatra. Look at the words. Sukha dukkhe. Comfort and discomfort. Real comfort and discomfort. Same kritva. Having them equally with equanimity of mind. Some means equanimity. Kritva means what? A comfort and discomfort. Don't know, I am not sure whether my actions are going to make me comfortable or uncomfortable. Whatever the result, let me take it my step. Equanimity. This mental preparedness to accept sukham or dukkham is called, means my mental readiness to accept my duty. As a result, I don't know what I am going to get. Sometimes it is comfort, sometimes it is discomfort. It's like, you see, I'll tell you. In my business, I don't know whether I will make money or I will lose money. मुझे पता नहीं. If you do proper calculation, you can always make. This is all ego. This is all not. Even if you are the most intelligent person, even then you can't be sure. I can't be sure is real maturity. I can't be sure is a fact. Can't be sure is a fact. Therefore, I should still do my duty. My mental readiness to accept both sukham as well as dukkham. Mental readiness for both sukham and dukkham is called chittatvam. This is called samatvam. Yoga Buchyate, as we are going to see. Samatvam is called ga. Says, take sukham and dukkham. Both with equanimity, sukha dukkhe, pleasure. Same equal, kritva, making them, meaning accepting both of them with abha labha. Gain and loss, we are not sure. A house, you see, wonderful house, but are you sure? Can you be sure? I will give you happiness or unhappy. Only hope to be happy. In that marry, you can only hope to be happy. Then you have the first child, son, you all say, hey Bhagavan, you got putra kameshti yaga. Went to every temple for asking for, hey putra may become the cause for your unhappiness. Only hope. Therefore, the best relaxation you can get, let me not try to be sure of things, let me hope for the best and leave the rest in the hands of God. Where I can't be sure, I try to be sure. That is a problem for myself. When it doesn't happen, what I am sure of, what I think I am sure of, if it doesn't happen, then I become heartbroken. I become heartbroken. Therefore, what should we do? Just as sukham and dukkham we can't be sure in life, gain and loss also we can't be sure. Business, sometimes you get the gain, but we don't know whether we will continue to get the gain or we will get some loss. We don't know. For a thinking man, he is humble when he gets the gain, when he gets the profit, he is humble. Lose hope, lose his heart. This is the right thing, I am doing it, but it is very natural. Sometimes we get some profit, sometimes doesn't matter. It is my duty, I am doing my duty. Sometimes it's not in my hand. Doing my duty. You can think this. People don't put pressure. It puts pressure on our people. Those who put pressure in our mind, to put pressure on our mind is not people, but our own ignorance. If I don't understand this fact that I can't be sure of things, then I can just relax and do my duty and leave the rest. Bas. A good human being. I try to work on my growth. There I can be sure. Comes to inner growth, I can be sure. When it comes to outer prosperity, I cannot be sure. can be sure. Meaning what? If I make an effort, meaning I can control my anger, I can control my greed, I can control my jealousy, I can control my attitude. My attitudes I can control. Events I can't control. Our attitudes, but we can't control. Even if we can only hope for the best events. We can't be sure of. Sometimes things whatever we want, we think everything is in our hands. Rains came. Money came. Children came. Whatever I wanted to happen, it happened. Then I want, it can. It is just reality of them. Not big. Therefore, events we can't control. Attitudes, we can bank on our attitudes for our happiness. I am conveying it. Are you good in life? Therefore, try to build your happiness on your attitude. Well, you should be the platform. You should be the one to build your happiness object. Happiness also is gone. Your happiness on your something, and that somebody. You build your happiness on yourself, on your right thinking and right attitude and right growth. Inner wealth, impossible to lose. Outer wealth, difficult to save. Inner wealth, impossible to lose. Bhagavan says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhav. Just as sukham and dukkham we can't be sure, profit and loss we can't be sure, and jaya and defeat also we can't. Work for sukham, work for profit, but you can't be sure. You can work for victory, but you can't be sure. Your duty, cherishing sukham, cherishing profit, cherishing victory, at knowing very well. Only cherish it along with the wisdom. It is not in my hands. I want you to hear this. We cherish sukham. We don't cherish dukkham. We cherish sukham, all right. Everybody wants sukham. We can work, we can do our duty hoping for sukham, hoping for victory, hoping for profit, and knowing very well. It is not. It's a very fine thing, it is very difficult. Generally, we do either that or this, but never combine. Either one makes the mistake. Either one makes the mistake. That everything is in my hands, I don't accept anything. He gets ultimately heartbroken. He says, I don't have to do anything. Let Bhagavan bring everything to me. That is another extreme. Both are wrong. Imagining that everything is in my hands is an illusion. Think nothing is in my hands, everything is in God, and therefore let God do everything for me, and then sit quiet, sit back. So, Krishna says, do your duty, keep doing your duty, hoping for the best. Keep doing your duty, hoping for the best, with the wisdom. Only in your duty is in your hands, and the result, attitude, keep doing it. One says, Tataha, thereafter, done the first line. What is the first line? Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhav jaya jayav. While doing our accepting, being mentally ready to accept both sukham and dukkham, labha ralabha, jaya ajaya. Tata, then with that attitude, yuddhaya means for the battle. For Arjuna, duty happened to be fighting, but in your case and my case, the duty is not fighting the battle. The duties are not huge actions. The duties are small things. When you get up in the morning, old grandparents, a cup of tea, it means noble. Duty does not mean I should go and bring a mountain. The whole day, it's like a mala, garland, a strip of small duties. Exact पहाड़ के लाने वाला कोई ड्यूटी है ही नहीं कि पहाड़ को तोड़ के लाना. Even nicely, pleasantly giving a cup of tea to your old parents is what Bhagavan says. We think we have to undertake a huge worship to Bhagavan to make him happy. I don't become happy through what you give. I become happy through gifts solve problems. Gifts. Real gifts solve less problems. So you give, imported coffee. Unpleasant. हम सोते हैं ना किसी को सो देते हैं. 4 बजे को इनको चाहिए कॉफी. बस शुरू हो गया कि हम लोग परेशान हैं. और उसके ऊपर और दूसरा परेशान. सुबह सुबह इनको कॉफी चाहिए. अलवाड़ and give him imported coffee. All right. That you do whatever little. Do it merely with an artificial smile. Even a small little deed happily. Invoke God's grace for you. Go waste. Comforting another soul, even a little, is going to bring you. For Bhagavan says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labha jaya jaya. Therefore, duty does not mean a huge action. There are only small, a garland of duties, small actions. A resolve, when you make a resolve to be about self-control, a resolve to be sweet to others, you try to control, you try to control your anger, your violence, that what we call, you're always aggressive. That aggression becomes all to be pleasant to others. The result to be pleasant to others. You control your overcoming one's aggressiveness. Is it a small achievement? Overcoming one's a big achievement. It is almost like Ravana becoming Rama. Achievement. For tato yuddhaya yujyasva, do your duty. Naivam papam avapsasi. You will never have mental sin. You will never have mental impurity. You will not have a problem in your mind. Papam means both papam and mental. In Vedic culture, means you will not get sin means what? You will not be always be happy, always be peaceful. You will always be cheerful. If you do your duty primarily for your growth, secondarily for the material growth, ever ready to accept profit or loss or sukham or dukkham or victory or defeat, but doing your duty as a prayer to God. Don't renounce duty, don't bypass duty, do your duty and use it for your growth. Don't do your duty merely for money. Don't do your actions merely for material growth. Actions be done for both inner growth and also outer. Primarily for inner growth and secondarily for between the two, which can be renounced? Do we need both or we need only one? We need both. We need material prosperity. We also need, says, duty can accomplish both. Karma yoga can accomplish both. Your duty, buddhi, duty with your duties accomplish things, and both we are in need of. Need prosperity, we need a matching growth. Supposing you get lot of prosperity with a small pygmy mind. Is bachpana dimag. 2,000 crores. What will you do with that? You should match your wealth. Is growing, the person also should be growing, and growing does not mean reading lot of books. Hey, don't think like that. Spiritual growth does not mean, cramming your mind with lot of books and lot of information. That is not. Growth means doing your duty pleasantly within your mind. I tell you, all books. If you haven't got that attitude, it is all waste. Sense of growth is do your duty pleasantly with, going to say that, aradhanartham. Doing your duties as a worship to God makes it karma yoga. This is the only way by which one can make very profound topics are there, and therefore when you come to the class always come with the idea there is something to learn. मैं मन नहीं लगता इसलिए रमण केंद्र में जाके बैठा रहता हूँ, मैं मन नहीं लगता है इसलिए थोड़ा रमण केंद्र में जाके फिर वापस आते हैं, थोड़ा टाइम पास हो जाता है. Say that always there is something to learn from Bhagavad Gita. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् मुदच्यते. ओम शांति.